0.76. So in service sector, we work with information, we create information, we generate new information, and therefore the trust is on information technology. The last chain that we talked of is transformation of the enterprise itself. So an organization basically plans, organizes, actuates and control and all and creates value for your organization. So the way they plan, they organize, they coordinate and control totally has changed. How they create value has also, how they create value has also changed. So it has changed the way organization plans, organizes, coordinates and control. How they create value has also changed. This is because there's so many changes which has taken place in the organization. Earlier, uh, decisions were centralized. Today, decisions are decentralized. Earlier, traditional organization had a long vertical chain of command. So so we had many levels existing in the organization, while today we have flatter structure, just 4 5 levels, 3 levels, 4 levels, and that will do. That does the work. That does the work. So we have very few levels now. Then earlier, people reported to the same person, loyalty, they had loyalty to the immediate boss. But now bosses also keep changing. So we are put in one department today, we are working in another part of another task force tomorrow. So even loyalty is shifting. Loyalty, we earlier we followed fixed routines, rules to be adhered to. Now even the rules and regulations are changing. We are more flexible. The timings were fixed, you come at 9, leave at 5. Now we have flexi timing, so we can come at any time, go at any time, except maybe a core time of say maybe 10 to 2 o'clock or 10 to 1 o'clock where everybody needs to be there. So a lot of change, centralization, decision making in one hand, structured, fixed method, no flexibility in the method of operation, focus on specialists, division of work. So one person did the same work repeatedly. So work was clearly divided. This is your work and this is X's work, Y's work, Z's work, whatever. It was clearly divided, and you would do the same work repeatedly till you become a specialist. So focus was on developing specialists. There was rigid division of labor. So the division of labor is very clearly done. Loyalty was strong. Modern organizations are different. From a taller structure, we have moved to a flatter structure, less hierarchy. Centralization to decentralization. Now we have people settled in different parts of the globe, a part of your organization in another part of the globe. So what do is we delegate work. We ask them to do for us. So we delegate work largely. So this is a more decentralized system. We ask them to take decision on their own. So we decentralize decision making also. From specialists, our focus is on creating generalists. So a person can be put to one task today, a task of a different nature tomorrow. So there is flexible arrangement of generalists. Earlier it was the same good, like they were mass produced item, standardized items, standard items, the same item, to such an extent that we often quote Ford, who said that you can have any car as long as it's black. So he said only black cars would be given. So even there was nothing called customization. Nothing for today we talk of customization, not for markets, but even for one. So depending upon your requirement, I'm going to manufacture the good for you. So there are a number of examples of customization. And then, so today focus is on job rotation, focus is on earlier it was specialist, now it is developing generalist. Earlier it was mass produced item to keep the costs low, standard items. Today they are customized items. Today we believe in job rotation. Today you're in one department, tomorrow you shifted in another department. We talk of multi-skilling. So there were informal commitments today. There is networks created. So it is no more a tall structure and you report to that same boss. Today we create, depending on the task in hand, we create a network of people who will execute the task. And once the task is accomplished, they will disintegrate. That team will disintegrate. So there is flexible arrangement of teams and individual working in a task force. They're flexible people, flexible machines, flexible flexi timing, flexible plants, and all this has, because of this, reliance on technology has increased. So when you talk of network of people, so we need two from sales, two from marketing, somebody on quality, two from production operations, somebody to tell us about quality. We don't have somebody here in this office premises who's an expert at quality. So, but we have it in our plant abroad. So we take his expertise. So when we create a team, it's not necessary that all the team members are within the physical location of, say, Gurgaon. So what we do is we call two people, maybe somebody from Hyderabad, somebody from US, Texas. So we create a linkage of people, and this is the network that we create. And the network disintegrates once the task is achieved. So now we take an example, in an organization, for the manufacturing to go on, they take raw materials from the stores. It's just the stores which holds the raw material. So the stores issues raw materials every day in the morning to the manufacturing plant to carry on the manufacturing process. So when they issue material, they follow certain method, which I think most of the people who are from commerce would know is a LIFO and a FIFO method. LIFO, last in first out, means last in first out means those items which came last and added to the stores, they are released first, they are given for, they issued out for manufacturing. And FO, some people file FIFO. FIFO is first in first out. Those which came in chronology earlier will be issued out for manufacturing process earlier, and the later ones will be reserved. So they are given, they issued in these pattern. It is first in first out or last in first out. Now this is known only to the stores man. If the man at the store doesn't come today, if he's absent for 3 days, does it mean that no material will be issued from the stores and no production will take place that day? No. So this should not happen. This will happen if we are if we are have only one person who's managing the stores, who is skilled enough or who knows about working of the store, and nobody else does. So what do we do is we pick that person from the stores, put him for 3 months on the assembly line, and the assembly line where they know how they have to fit a gadget to the maybe automobile. So he's trained in fixing that gadget on that assembly line, on that automobile as it moves around the assembly line. So he's put on the assembly line for 3 months. The person who's behind the assembly line is put on the stores for 3 months, so January, February, March. So this is what we call job rotation. So if by chance this situation comes that the stores man does not come, and suddenly we come to know he has had an accident, road accident, and he's hospitalized, maybe he'll be there for 3 days or 6 days. We have a ready hand who can go and take his place and work. Similarly, so he can give his services in the stores. We repair an equipment and there are specific repairs man there. So if he does not come, does it mean that equipment will not be repaired and we'll wait for somebody to come and do it, and for those 3 days that equipment is not functional? No. So this can happen only if we believe in job rotation and we put that person on the assembly line for 3 months or 6 months. He's well equipped, put him in the stores for some time, put him in some other section for some time, so he knows the working of that unit. He has an understanding of the working of the unit. So if a machine breaks down, it does not hamper your production process. If the stores man is absent, absenteeism of the stores man does not hamper or disrupt your production process. This is what we mean by job rotation. So if we rotate them on different sections, different jobs, he will develop multiple skills. We call it multi-skilling. We call it job rotation. So we rotate that person 6 months here, 3 months there, again 6 months here. So he's skilled at more than one work. We call it multi-skilling. He develops multiple skills rather than being focused at only one work. So this is how we talk of multi-skilling, we talk of job rotation. So we create what we call flexible people. This is how we create flexible people. Now there are also flexible machines which can be put to use for manufacturing more than one item. There are also what we call flexible plants. So if you're producing some Maruti at Manesar is producing a Swift Desire, it is producing Baleno, it is also producing a Wagoner and Alto. But suppose your equipments are so fixed that it can produce only one item. So one assembly line created for creating Wagoner. You have to create another assembly line, another small plant for creating your manufacturing your Alto. A third one for manufacturing your Swift Desire. Fourth one, so you see how many plants you need to create, how much capital investment you need to make, how many different people will have to be shifted from here. So we need maybe 10 people behind, 12 people behind the assembly line for your Wagoner, another 12 for your Alto, another 12 for your Swift Desire, another 12 for your Baleno, and so on. So we talk of flexible plants. Plants are flexible enough to produce more than one item. And you'll be surprised to know that Alto and Wagoner, which look different. I think Wagoner is called a tall car. So their appearance wise, they're totally different. But they are churned out from the same assembly line. Another example, we can talk of Telco or Tata Motors. They are manufacturing trucks or buses. So initially, you will not know whether it's a truck or a bus. It's the same body, same which comes out, and then the additions are made. So it either is converted into a truck or a bus. Now you take this example here. What we call it is we call them flexible plants, flexible assembly line. Maruti Suzuki, Wagoner, and Alto. They have 70% of the components same. 70% of the components are the same. Only 30% are differentiated components. Only 30% are differentiated components. So this we are able to do. Students, can you mute yourself, please? There is some disturbance around. Okay, so we believe in what we call modular designs. Now, what are modular designs? Modular design means we break the design into component A, B, C, D, E, F. So A, B, C, D, E, F means 6 different components we have. Right? Some components, some modules are common and some modules are differentiated. So as I said, you'll be surprised to know Wagoner and Alto have 70% common components. Only 30% is differentiated. And these 30% of components get the element of differentiation when they are added to the base, which is either a Wagoner or Alto. It becomes either an Alto or a Wagoner. So only 30% of the differentiated components they added later. So it is the same assembly line, and the people behind the assembly line don't know whether it's a Wagoner or an Alto, but they go on fixing it, the 70% of the components. Now, depending upon the demand, either we convert it into a Wagoner or we used to convert it into an Alto. So you see 70% of the components are same. This is possible when we follow the concept of modular design. We create the components into modules and say there are 30 modules, out of which 24 modules are same and 6 are different. If there are 100 modules, 70% same means 70 modules are the same and 30 are differentiated. So whether we are manufacturing Wagoner or Alto, we will be manufacturing that same component. 70% of the components are going to be the same. So per unit cost of production also goes down. So we try to maximize on the common components and try to minimize on the differentiated components. The more the common components, the larger the volume it will be producing. Whether it's a Wagoner or it's Alto, I'm going to produce that. So my per unit cost is going to go down. And we'll have, so the thrust is to maximize the standardized components and minimize the uncommon ones, the differentiated ones. And then this is what we call, this is how, earlier in 10 years, these manufacturers would come up with a new car. Today, they're doing it every second day. Every 3 years or every year, there is a launch of different vehicles. Now, you see, how are they able to do it? They're only changing small parts. They're only changing, say, 30% or 22% or say 15% of the modules. Rest are the same. Because if they go to create a new product right from scratch, it's going to be very costly. So every module will be different. So what they do is, some modules are the same, 70, 75, 88, 78, 82 components are the same, only 18 components differ. So they are increasing they are able to reduce on the cost of manufacture, particularly of the common components, and only the element of differentiation is what which costs them more, and they are adding it later. So this is a concept which you call frugal design. Frugal means meager, small. So it's a concept of frugal design, wherein you see earlier in 7 years, 10 years, we would launch vehicles. Today, every second year, they're coming with 2 or 3 products because they're focusing only on the differentiated components and they're trying to vary that. They're trying to change that. They're trying to design that in their own way. And therefore, they're able to, so swiftly, they're able to launch new products. And see, it is the same assembly line, which will give you whether it's a Wagoner or Alto. So you don't have a separate assembly line. So the cost of setting up a plant is also low. You have the same people who fix up the components on your vehicles, who add up the components on your vehicles. Still, 70% are the same. So it's the same people, it's the same assembly line, it's the same plant. This is a concept of what we call flexible plants. So your plants are flexible. So this automobile plant is flexible. It can churn you, give you more than, it can give you differentiated items. So today is the focus when we talk of flexible people who can be put to use. He can be put to use in the stores. He can be put to use for issuing some amount of official work he can do. We call it multi-skilling. He has multiple skills. He can work in the plant. He can work in the stores. He can work in some other area. So this is called multi-skilling, and this is possible only when we rotate him on the job, which we call job rotation. We give him some skill in one department, some other skills in another section and another department. Multi-skilling. We talk of flexible people, and we often, there's a quote, we say multi-skill to keep yourself relevant. You need to develop newer skills. You need to develop more and more skills to make yourself relevant in the organization. To make yourself, so somebody who's multi-skilled, he's very useful to the organization. So organization will always want to retain such a person, always want to retain such a person. So this is called multi-skilling. This is possible only when we believe in job rotation. So we talk of flexible timing, we've talked about flexible people, we talk about flexible equipments, we talk about flexible plants which can churn out more than one product. And flexible plants is possible, or this is possible, as we said, if we adopt modules for any construction, we adopt modules for any manufacturing process. So modules here were, we have, if say 100 modules, 70 modules remain the same. We call it modular design. So there are certain common modules, A, B, C, D, E, and F, G, H are differentiated. So so whether you're producing product A, product Wagoner, Alto, or whatever, they remain the same. A, B, C, D, E is added, and then either you add FG or you add GH or you add HI to give a differentiated product, component. So you see, if we had a different plant for Baleno, a different plant for Swift Desire, a different plant for your Wagoner, a different plant for your Alto, it would have been so costly. So we have the same assembly line which gives you the Wagoner and the Alto. They have 70% of the components same. So the focus always have been to increase on the common components and decrease on the uncommon ones. Thereby, you're able to keep cost at check. If you increase on the common components, the cost of manufacture is going to be low. We reduce on the per unit cost of these components. While the differentiate components might be costly, which is added up later. This is what we call the concept of frugal design. Small changes in your design will bring you a new product, will give you a new product. And this is how you see, and when we talk of these changes, our reliance on information technology increases. So we just review it. Modern organizations, earlier we had hierarchical, tall structure. Now we have a flatter organization, just 3 or 4 levels, so that you can reach the top boss fast. There is less delay in decisions when we have flatter structure. We had centralized decisions, one man taking decision. Now we have delegated decisions. So decision making is at various ends. So depending is at various ends. So we delegate. So from the days of centralization, today organizations are believing in decentralization. Organization focused on strict division of labor. You will do the same repeated work and you'll develop into a specialist. Today they're talking about, so from specialization specialists, we've moved to generalists. Today we think not of promoting specialists, but of promoting generalists. Earlier we believed in standardized products. Again, we quote, Ford can have any, he said, you can have any car as long as it's black. Today we talk of customization. So we customize goods for others. So we talked of cycle. There was one black sturdy cycle for office goers. Today we have so many variants by Hero Cycles. Like we have for the different age group, we have for Ladybird for women, and we have so many different for the teenager. Then we have so many different versions for the toddlers, for the infants, for the teenagers, for ladies, and so on and so forth. So we have customized items available in the market. So these are the changes which have taken place. Earlier it was strict loyalty and commitment. Now there is informal relationship, informal commitment. Even loyalty is at its brink. We say it's a shifting loyalty depending upon whom I'm associated with today. Earlier, you would be loyal to your organization, you'd be loyal to your boss. Now, we are loyal to the organization as long as I'm in there, and then who my boss is. If my boss changes, my loyalty also changes. Earlier, it was strict line of command which used to operate. Today, it's a network. So we create, depending upon the task at hand, we create a team, we create a network of people. Once the task is executed, the team also disintegrates. So it's flexible arrangement of teams, individuals working in a task force, flexible people, flexible machine, flexi timing, flexible plant. When the system occurs, our reliance on technology obviously increases. We have taken the example of job rotation, how to make people generalists or multi-skilling, and we have also taken the example of flexible plants. And therefore, the need or the reliance on information technology increases because now we need to integrate our functioning. We need to interact and communicate with maybe somebody far-flung countries. So the need for information, the way an organization used to plan, organize, work, has totally changed. So many changes: centralization to decentralization, generalist to specialist, standardized to customization. So there are the way an organization operated or it created value, the way organization planned, organized, actuated, and controlled, and created value for the organization has changed, and therefore our reliance on information technology has increased. So these are the basic changes. First was globalization of the economy. Second was movement from agriculture to industrial to finally to a service-based economy. And the third is changes within an organization itself. And therefore, our reliance on information technology has increased. So with that, we are over with a discussion on this. And any query anybody has, any clarification, anything addition you want to know? And somebody has asked for the slides. I'll send it across today on your group. Any query, anything you want to know, flexible systems, flexible people, modular design. If not, I think I can call it a day. And I won't be engaging class from tomorrow. I'm out of station from tomorrow onwards till Sunday. So we resume class only on Monday. Let it be known on the group.